Hey, I'm Wispy, and welcome to today's character design session. And during 2020, I started writing a webcomic. I ended up making 3 chapters of this comic, but after that I stopped liking the project. That was in 2021. Now, in 2023, the project is back on my mind, and over the past couple weeks I've been redrawing the comic to eventually start drawing chapters again. Part of this rewriting process involves creating new character designs for every new character that appears in the webcomic. Today, I'll be showing how I redesigned 2 of the background characters, a pair of gods. Let me explain how I originally designed these characters. There was no process at all. I would come up with a vague concept, draw them into a panel, and use that panel as a reference for the rest of the pages. This is definitely not a good way to come up with a design for a character. There should be a little more thought involved, and especially for this character, because I'm terrible at designing armor, some references should be used. This first character is called Orium. He's a war god. The original design for this character was very basic. The helmet is very under-detailed, and the chest armor just doesn't look good. I also didn't keep in mind the sort of body shape I wanted to have. For this new design, I found good references for the helmet and chest armor, and even though he probably won't get a full body shot in this comic, I designed his pants and boots just to have something to keep in mind. I changed his long hair to tied back so his armor can be seen better. I also gave him scars on his face, arms and chest. He's a war god, he should have some scars. As for his colors, I kept them mostly the same, just changing the hair to have a more reddish tone. The second god I'm redesigning is called Psyche, a goddess of dreams. Originally, her name belonged to Notos, another character who will pop up in the video occasionally, but I ended up changing Notos' name because it just didn't suit them anymore. Psyche's original design only had the loose idea of wanting this kind of mask incorporated into the design. Other than that, it was pretty much the same process as Orium's design. The dress is way too simple, which from a distance makes it look a bit shapeless, and I don't like how frilly it is around the neckline area. Her hair also doesn't have a lot of form to it, and the mask is slightly too detailed for my preference. So for this redesign, I made sure to add more detail to the dress. I simplified the mask and gave her more structured bangs. I also gave her elf ears to make her look a little less human. And one of my fallbacks in design is giving everything angel wings, so I did that here too, even giving her some on her head, but it suits her as the goddess of dreams. And for the final artwork, I decided to redraw 3 panels of my webcomic in my new style with all the new character designs. I also used this as a sort of proof of concept to see whether I actually wanted to go ahead with remaking this comic, and I had a lot of fun with this. You might notice I'm directly tracing over the reference sheets. This is a common thing in webcomic making. Often artists build up asset catalogs to get their webcomics made faster and easier, and when you're drawing the same character hundreds of times, it's good to take as many shortcuts as possible. As for other things I improved, it was mostly lighting and background improvements, which I picked up from experience and less from directly learning. I also noticed that in a lot of the webcomics I like, sound effects aren't in a bubble, but as stylized text, so I tried to replicate that here. And the character in the bottom 2 panels is Notos, who I redesigned recently. They're one of the main characters in this webcomic. Let me read you how I've written this scene for a little more context. They converse, rather bored of each other, until a loud bang interrupts them. They turn. The doors of the bar had sprung open, and between them a rather average-appearing being with faded sapphire skin and a pale galaxy spread over their cheeks. However, this was mostly obscured by a tall hood. Surely this pathetic creature wouldn't think so highly of themselves to make such bold an entry. And that's the final result of my redesigns and redraws. How did you like the final designs? Let me know if I could improve anything, and thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. If you have a character you'd like me to redesign, let me know, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. I'll be posting updates once I've finished writing my webcomic and have started drawing it. I'll link my webcomic in the description. Anyway, my next video will probably be a redesign of an old character, so until then, stay safe and I'll see you next time.